It's time to get that thing out of here, and I mean it's just a Chevy small block, so it shouldn't be any big problems. Just some motor mounts, bell housing bolts, and some manifolds basically, and then we can get this thing out of here. And maybe if we're lucky, we can have that thing in there by the end of today. We'll see. But something that's gonna be a little bit of an issue is that this thing is so high, so I have to hang over the core support. It isn't super high, but it has basically start helping us with that problem because this tire is airing out really quick right now. And as I probably said yesterday, the other three wheels were even worse. So my dad has he removed the tires and he fixed the bead on the rims because that's really rusty, but he didn't do this one because this one was a lot better, but obviously it's not good. So we have to remove this tire, check the bead, fix everything, and hopefully we can get that to seal up. So my plan right now is we're gonna jack it up, remove both front wheels and put it down on some wooden blocks to get it as low as possible, because I mean we still have great access under here, so that's not a problem. That will help a lot for me to be able to reach in here without jumping up and down all the time. So yeah, that's the plan. Rig it up and then start removing stuff. Here we have it in a little easier angle to work on it. Now I can take my arm and reach inside of here a lot easier. That's gonna help a lot. So also, I mean, we need to remove that wheel to fix it. We can't have a wheel that's only holding air for 1 hour, or I mean a few hours. But I washed this so much yesterday, but there's still a lot of mud here. A big stone. I found a stone that was like this big inside the truck because we have some rust we have to attend to here in the future. So yeah, it's a bit muddy in here. But that's also why I removed the carpet, because I wanted to be able to pressure wash this thing. But anyway, before we start putting the engine, we have to do one small thing, and that is one of my wheels on the engine hoist had seized. You can see I've removed it there. So I took it here over to my bench and realized something interesting. This thing has the engine hoist in general has always squealed a lot, which is annoying. And something I realized here is that there are no bearings in these, at least in the rear wheels. So it's only this steel sleeve that goes inside of here that I had to hammer out now. And obviously it goes very rough. So we're gonna clean this and grease it, and maybe this will solve our squealing. I don't know, but I thought it was just interesting that there were no bearings. But if there's no bearings that can fail either. So yeah, this is gonna work great. But I'm gonna clean it and put it back together. I fixed the wheel, greased it, and since I was already on it, I thought might as well do the other one also. It wasn't as bad, but it wasn't good. And now this thing rolls so easy. It has never rolled this good as far as I can remember, and I had this thing since it was basically new. So yeah, that's amazing, and it doesn't seem to be squealing anymore. And this is one of those things that you struggle, I'm not gonna say struggle, but that you live for years. I mean, it's ear piercing, the squeal that this has been doing for years. And now I took 5 minutes and fixed it, and now it is fantastic. And it's just so stupid that you don't do these things immediately when you realize it. Instead, you just live with it. But anyway, now we've fixed it at least, so now we can go ahead and start pulling that engine. We're starting getting some parts off here. I got the radiator removed, and when I removed the upper radiator hose, I got a bit of a shock because this thermostat housing is so bad. Never seen anything like it, but I know that it can happen, but I've never seen it on one of my own vehicles. But it was not leaking. So that's great. And also something else is that I removed the AC pump, and it's a bit fun or amazing that this is an AC truck. In my experience, the 70s truck isn't all that common with AC. And I was thinking maybe we should put the AC back on to this engine. It obviously didn't work. It was completely empty, the system. And of course, it would be fun to have the AC pump there, but in all fairness, I'm never gonna get the AC working, and it just feels like more of a hassle than it's worth. So I'm not gonna put it on, but I'm gonna put it in a box and save it for another day. Maybe someone else wants to buy it to get their AC system up and running, because it's very common for the pumps to be missing, since this probably hasn't been working since the early 80s or something, I don't know. But also I'm planning to make this into a fully convertible with the full roof, so I won't be needing AC, at least where I live. So yeah, AC is not going back on. But my plan right now is that I'm just gonna unbolt the exhaust manifolds, because I'm not really feeling getting under there and unbolting them. So hopefully we can get the engine out with those hanging still in here. I don't think that should be a problem. I'm gonna remove the spark plugs. But then it's a matter of unhooking the fuel line, motor mounts and bell housing bolts, and then we should be able to get this thing out of here. Also, I'm contemplating if I need to remove the hood. We have quite a bit of space here and I'm not really feeling it. Also, we can get some more space like that, and we could also remove the front bolts and loosen the rear ones and get a few extra inches. So hopefully we don't have to remove it, because I hate removing the hoods. So yeah, let's continue. After some more work, we're ready to get this thing out of here, and hopefully it will clear the exhaust manifolds. Worst comes to worst, I can lay under that with the sawzall, but it should come out. Everything is loose, and I'm amazed how fast this is compared to when I was going to pull the engine out of my truck. I got to work like 9:30 today because I had some other things to attend this morning. And now it's almost 12 and we're ready to get this thing out of here. While when I was pulling it out of my truck, it took like a full day just to get it out of there, with everything around it and being a lot more tight. So yeah, it's weird how different it can be from one truck to another, and it's just basically the body style after each other. But anyway, let's pull this thing so that we can hopefully get that get that thing in by the end of the day. And here we have our turd out of there, and this actually isn't a turd in that sense, because this is actually a pretty good builder, and we're gonna do something fun with it. It's a 3970010. So I call it a 010 block, but from my experience, they are always 350s, and most often when they are out of trucks, they are 4-bolt mains. So this is actually a pretty desirable, what do you say, builder or whatever. But as I said, we're gonna do something fun with it, but not right now. And as you can see, I didn't really get the engine out. I had to lift the hood up a little bit, but we managed to clear it. So something I realized about this thing is that we can see that our intake is orange, our water pump is orange, and the damper is orange, and the heads are blue. So obviously they have been swapped out, and I'm not really sure if Chevy had orange engine since 76, but who knows, this could have been changed multiple times. But yeah, we have it. We're gonna put it aside. And speaking of this engine, I saw something when I removed the distributor. We can see this oil buildup here on the shaft. So this probably hadn't had super tight oil changes, but I'm not the person to complain, because I'm not good at that either. But we're gonna go ahead and put this on a little cart. I have these proper engine carts for small block and big block, but unfortunately they are both used right now. But I've realized that these wheel dollies work actually really, really good. You just take one of these 4x4s, put it on there, and they are really sturdy. There's no strap or anything on this thing. So we're gonna do the same for this thing, and eventually we're going to start this thing. So obviously that's not going to work, but we'll fix that problem when we get that far. But yeah, I'm gonna clean here a little bit, dropped a lot of antifreeze over there, and go and walk my dogs and eat some lunch, and then we will start putting that thing in. I've had a little bit of a break here, and the last thing I did was I took a bunch of sawdust on all of the antifreeze that I had spilled and cleaned that up, only to make another mess with this engine. Not too much, but I hate having water on the floor to walk around in it, and it takes so long for it to dry for some reason in my garage. But anyway, we have this thing on the hoist, and it is prepped to go into the truck. I have put on the newer style motor mounts. This one had the older style, and I put on a flex plate since we had the manual stuff from the Oldsmobile. And I could not take the flex plate from this thing because this is the older style and our supercharged engine is the newer style of crankshaft. Also, I wanted to keep it on this thing because I plan to start this thing in the coming days. So we'll get to that, but we're gonna start cramming this thing in. And obviously I was contemplating pressure washing the engine bay, but then I was like, it's gonna look like this the next time we go out driving it, so doesn't really matter. We can make it nicer some other day. For now I want to get somewhere, do something. So yeah, we're just gonna start putting this in. Shouldn't be all that much problem, but who knows. So see how it goes. And here we have the engine in the truck, all bolted up, torque converter, bell housing, motor mount. So it's all in there, which is great. So now we can just start bolting stuff on it. And the reason I had to, I started putting it in, but then I removed it was because I realized I had to remove the distributor because it was hitting the hood. And usually I take out the distributors, not so you don't crack them against the firewall, because that's pretty easy to do. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I mean, it's almost it has already passed 2 here, so we don't have all that much time. But I mean, if we only put in the distributor, put on the carb and hook up the fuel, we could start it. So obviously I want to start it here before the day is over, but I gotta see if I have some headers that could fit, and we just basically have to put more parts on it. But also something that hopefully works here is that there's a lot more clearance between the supercharger and the hood on the Blazer. So I think that without a problem, we're going to have the carb clearing. I'm not sure if that filter is going to clear, but also I don't think that that air filter is going to like its life going through mud holes. So I'm thinking buying one of those 90-degree turns that you use when you're running like a turbo setup, so that we can use some piping and route the air filter to another location where hopefully it won't get a lot of mud on it. And those things build less height than that thing does. So I don't think we will have to have a hood scoop on this thing, which would be great. But yeah, I guess I'm just going to put more stuff on it so we can start it and see if we can find some headers. And after some more work, we are ready to try and start it. Obviously, it's not drive ready yet, but I found a set of headers that seems to fit. They are only in with 2 bolts each. We need to remove them, put on V-bands, flanges, and some other stuff. I had to reroute some wires to the starter, and we need to tidy up some things in general. But we have a set of headers that fit. I put in a radiator. I haven't hooked it up to the water, but I hooked it up to the transmission because I pumped up oil pressure, or I cranked it to see oil pressure, and I forgot, so now we're oil on the floor. And here you can see the other header, and obviously we had the distributor in. I marked it when I removed it, so it should be exactly where it was before. And obviously we have the carb. We do not have throttle hooked up, so we have to manually throttle it out here. But it should just fire up and run. So we're gonna test it. So I thought it would start there, but it feels like we're not having ignition. I can see fuel in the flow pole. I can hear something when I turn the throttle, so I think the accelerator pump is doing something. So it feels like we're not having ignition for some reason, and obviously now we have a different distributor, but I've always been wondering about this, if it has good power to the distributor. And there's one weird thing, that there was another wire hooked up to the distributor in the tack position, and this thing doesn't have a tack, so I don't know why it would have that, but I'm gonna make sure it has spark and go from there. And also there's some weird, I feel it's a sound when it's turning over. I'm not sure what that could be, but I mean it has been running perfectly all summer, so shouldn't be any problem. But yeah, let's see if we can see if it has some spark. So I realized when I was going to put a constant wire from the battery to the distributor that I had forgotten the 3 wires going from the distributor to the cap. So that obviously was the ignition problem, but now it is backfiring and not sounding good at all. So even though I removed the distributor, where I marked it, removed it and put it in back the same way with the rotor facing the same way, I guess I got it wrong. I can't really understand how I could manage to do that, but yeah, I am really out of time here. I need to go and pick up my kids, but I really want to finish this, or at least start it. So I have to do a quick check of the ignition and see if I can find anything wrong there. I've been fiddling with the distributor and I don't understand how this is possible. I marked the distributor to the intake manifold and where the rotor was pointing, so that I wouldn't have to turn it to top dead center and whatever, which I obviously should have done in hindsight. But I pulled it up, I put it on the same place on the intake, I put it on the same place with the rotor, and it was wrong. I don't understand how it is possible. Wait, I remember. Yeah, now I understand. I turned the engine over when I was torquing the converter bolts. That's why it was messed up. Yeah, so now I understand what happened. So now it should just fire off. So let's start it. That was what we were looking for, and obviously I only put in the distributor, turned it a bit, might need some more ignition, might need less, but at least it starts. And I mean, we started today, we didn't do anything yesterday, so within a day we have swapped the engine. Obviously there's still work to be done. We have to hook up the cooling system, we have to fix the headers, we have to build an exhaust, because I'm not connecting the exhaust that is under this thing because I hate that. And we have to fix the throttle and some vacuum stuff, but at least it's in there, it starts, and that's really great. So there's probably another day fiddling with stuff back and forth, but I'm really happy we have it and it's starting. So I'm gonna leave it there. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll be back to you tomorrow.